today we are working on another BMW M54 or late M52, one of the aluminum block ones. And if you read around online or even watch one of my previous videos, the threads that hold the cylinder head down in the block are vulnerable to being pulled out. So I've had this happen a few times now, and I fixed it a few different ways, but I want to go into something new with this. So I call this the forbidden slinky, right? And this essentially, you put your head stud in, you go to torque it, and you tear all of the threads right out of the engine block. It's very depressing when that happens. I made a video a couple months back where I had an M54 up on the mill and I was drilling these out to 9/16 and then making a custom insert and reinstalling the studs. I was thinking about that, and like that works for me, but it's not gonna work for everybody because not everybody has a mill, or not everyone wants to tear their engine down to the bare block to put it on a mill. So I was like, I need to find a way to do this easily with a hand drill, maybe something I could even do in the car. I want to utilize these inserts here. I bought some of these inserts for testing. These are made by Easy Lock. 330-10 is the part number. And these are essentially an insert that I was going to make, and then I found out it was commercially available, so it wouldn't be worth me making them. But this is a full 25 millimeter depth insert. It is 9/16 thread on the outside and M10 by 1.5 on the inside. So this is perfect for your BMW M52, M54 application. You get a lot of thread engagement with it. Now I'll be pairing these up with Nissan VQ main studs that I'm going to use as head studs in the M54. I've been doing that forever, and that's not a problem. So I want to show you this kit that I built. We're going to give it a test on this engine, see how it works, but really the intent of this kit is anybody with a hand drill can bolt this thing down, retap their block to use the 9/16 inserts here, and it could even be done in the car. So this is the kit that I'm working on building right now. It's not finished yet, and like I said, I haven't tested it, so I'm sure this will change a little bit. But essentially what you have is a main fixture plate here, and this is drilled to fit the late M52 and M54 block. And then essentially this fixture is going to allow us to drill these holes nice and straight with a hand drill, as well as get our tap started nice and straight and hold that all for us. And it also uses numerous locating pins to fixture this plate absolutely perfectly centered on the old hole. And then finally, I've built an installation tool here for the actual insert. And this tool has a shoulder built into it to set the insert depth for you. So it really takes all the math and measuring out of this. The drill's got its own bushing on it, marked to the correct length. So you really just ram this thing together and you're gonna get great results as if you did it on a milling machine. Let's give this thing a try and see how it works. All right, so I just taped the deck up. That way we're not getting chips falling in your oil passages, coolant passages, down the cylinders, whatever. All right, let's get started on this front stud here. So we'll drop the plate over. We're gonna select our alignment dowel that fits the hole we're using. So this one is not a locating stud, so this one's too big. It's one of those intermediate ones. You'll use this alignment dowel. Drop the fixture over, grab 2 bolts. I'm going to go diagonal. And snug these down. Now also, if your threads are already pulled out, I have a solution for that as well, and we'll show you that when we get back to here. All right, so that fits good. Pull out your alignment dowel. Drop in your 9/16 tap drill bushing. And then we've got our drill here with our collar already set to the correct depth. So now we just drill it. Whoa. right, so we ran that down until it bottoms out. There's no thinking about height or anything like that. Now we're gonna drop in our tap bushing. Fits in like that. And this will just get our tap started. We're not gonna fully tap it with the plate on here, but with the tap bushing, it's pretty well a no-brainer. You can't make this thing crooked. There's no way to screw it up. And this is a bottoming tap. You're gonna run it all the way down until it stops. These M54 blocks are really soft. They cut like butter. Probably why the head studs tear out of them in the first place. All right, so that's plenty to say the tap is started, true and straight. So now we're gonna get the plate out of the way. And we can continue to run the tap down the remainder of the distance. Now this is a blind hole, so you're gonna have to come out a couple times and blow your chips out, especially as you get towards the end. You don't wanna pack all the chips into the bottom of the hole. All right, so last step, give it a final rinse with some brake cleaner, blow it out. Make sure that those threads are spotless in there, that there's nothing caked into the bottom, because you're gonna take your Easy Lock insert, put it on the bottom of the depth setting tool, and then we can begin to thread this in. Now there's Loctite on the Easy Lock insert, and the brake clean will help keep that happy. Run it down until it stops, back the tool out, and just like that, we are back to a 10 by 1.5 thread, a steel thread now, and this baby's ready to go back in service. So I'm gonna keep working through. I'll time myself, see how long it really takes to do one hole, but I bet you could do one hole in maybe 5 minutes. So you got, I think, 14 of them here to do. You guys kind of take your time. I was thinking though, I'm probably gonna put some additional red Loctite on the Easy Locks, even though they have their own Loctite. I think a little more wouldn't hurt. So I think on these future ones, I'll put a dab of red Loctite on here just to lock those inserts in a little better. That goes in, that goes in. Switch away. All right, so we're putting in our last insert now. This went really well. I actually had no problems, nothing crazy showed up. It is tiring, tapping all these 9/16 holes by hand. Maybe in the future I'll get ballsy and put them on the impact gun, but for now, just wanted to play it safe. I actually only did 12 inserts. These two were already inserted from a previous experience, but these were fresh. The only thing I did notice, sometimes when you torque this down, the insert will come back with it. If the insert comes out with it, like that's okay. If the insert comes back with it, just tighten it down more. That's all you gotta do. That is the beauty of having a finer thread on the stud side and a coarser thread on the block side. All right, so this engine is officially spank-certed. So now all this can come off, and I can clean up the threads, do some final cleanup, and get a cylinder head back on this thing. All right, so now I can finally put this motor together with some confidence that the head studs aren't going to pull out when I torque them. Because unfortunately, that's what happened last time I actually, I fixed 2 of the studs in a pinch, and they're fine. And I tested all the other studs. I put spacers on the stud, I over torqued everything held, and when I put the head on, it pulled again. I couldn't believe it. So, ended up redoing the entire block, waste another head gasket, but I think we're finally there. Eventually, I will have this on spankranchgarage.com, but I don't have a website set up yet for this kind of crap. If you are interested in renting it in the meantime, Barry at spankranchgarage.com. I'll get it boxed up for you, send you a fresh pack of inserts, and then you watch this video, and that pretty much shows you how to use it. All right, drop that on there. Now this head would not have actually dropped on if the studs were not perpendicular to the deck. So think about that, right? There's hardly any clearance on these M10 holes already, so if that stud is off or they're all headed in different directions, you're not going to get it. That's kind of why I think doing this with a hand drill without a fixture is impossible. Unless you've got a dead straight, very accurate hand, you just ain't going to get it. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is kind of the scary part. For me, I'm personally traumatized because I've built this engine twice already. And I have ripped the head studs out before even finishing torquing the head. So this might go well, might go the same way it did the last 2 times. We'll see. Three, 8, 9, 10, 14. They felt great. Nothing sketchy, no weird pulling, no nothing. That really felt great. I think we finally did it. I think this engine's gonna hold together, and I'm just glad the freaking head's torqued on. You'll see this motor with a big turbo bolted to it, maybe doing some burnouts in a E39 station wagon eventually. Thanks for watching Spank Ranch Garage. I'll see you next time.